Hello, everybody. Today we are going to combine the combinations with probability. Now, if you remember, probability is what we want over what we have. Probability has got to be a fraction. But let's build the probability slowly. Consider a classroom containing 18 girls and 12 boys. So that means we've got 30 kids total inside this classroom. And the teacher would like to create a 4-person committee. Now remember, a committee, this is one of those key words that means combination. And again, they're going to use choose, which again means combination. How many different ways can the teacher create this 4-person committee? Well, if you have 30 people and you are going to choose 4 of them, and if you punch that into your calculator, you are going to get 27,405 people, or 27,405 ways you can choose these 4 people. And that's a lot of ways. So if we break it down, now we want the 4-person committee to only be girls. Well, now we only look at our girls. So from the 18 girls in the class, if we choose 4, we get a much smaller number. We get 3,060. So there's 3,060 ways that I can choose 4 girls if I'm only considering the girls. So now the next thing is, what is the probability that this committee would contain only girls? Well, now we go to a probability, which here is where we're starting with what do I want over what do I have. So the probability of 4 girls would be this 18C4 over the 30C4. Because this was what I wanted, and this is what I have. So I would have 3,060 out of 27,405. Now, this really wouldn't make sense to us. If I was talking to you about these numbers and this is what I gave you as an answer, you might write it down, but it has absolutely no meaning. So if you were on your calculator to divide to make this into a decimal, and let's say we round it to 3 decimal places, we would get 0.112, which is a really small amount. That, would then make sense if you would say, well, there really are very small chance that I'm only going to pick 4 girls. And if we make it even more understandable, turn the decimal to a percent, this would be 11.2%. So that, it can happen, but it's not really a large chance that it would happen. But if we change it now and we say, well, what's the probability that this teacher decides to have 2 girls and remember, and is a comma, 2 boys? Well, that might make things a little bit better, in terms of the chances of this happening. So again, we have to go with, to begin with, what do I want? Well, from the 18 girls in the class, the teacher has to choose 2 of them. And then, which is multiplication, from the 12 boys, the teacher is going to have to choose 2 of those. Now, we already know what 18C2 is, and we already know what we have, our 30C2 is. So you're going to have to now type in your 12C2, so you should do that. So now your 12C2 times that now by your 18C2, this gives us a top, which is 18,360. And that's over now what we have, which is our 27,405. And one more time, this probably doesn't make any sense to you. So do the division, and let's get the decimal. Round it to 3 decimal places. And when you do that, we end up with 0.670, because I think there was like a 99. Or 67%. There's a 67% chance that the teacher is going to choose 2 girls and 2 boys. That's a pretty large percent. And that, again, is something, these 2 answers are answers we would understand a whole lot more than that. However, you are going to have to give me the fractions. And if you need the fraction in lowest terms, then of course you would divide to a decimal and then hit math, enter, enter, and make it into fraction in lowest terms. So now let's talk about Adriana is going to choose 5 CDs, 5 DVDs, 5 movies to take on vacation. Maybe she's got a DVD player in the car. So she's selecting from 6 action movies, 8 comedies, and 4 dramas. So find the probability. So all of this is the probability now that she chooses 5 comedies. Well, if I want 5 comedies, whoa, I gotta fix that. So the probability that she's going to choose 5 comedies what this is going to be is now from the 8 comedies in her pile, she's going to choose 5 of them. So that was what she wanted. Remember, this is what you want. But what does she have? Well, she has 6 action, 8 comedies, and 4 dramas. She has a total of 18 DVDs in her house. And from those 18 DVDs, she is going to choose 5. So out of the 8 comedies, she wants 5 of them. Out of all the CDs, she wanted 5. What we want over what we have. And then this gives me 56 out of 8,568. Very small fraction. But again, would you know that by looking at the fraction? Probably not. So do the division. When you do the division, we're getting 0.0065 as a decimal. So that's a really small decimal number. And as a percent, that's not even 1%. As a percent, that's 0.65%. So it's less than 1% chance that she's going to pick 5 comedies. So if we go here, now it says, well, okay, what's the probability that she picks 2 action, 2 comedies, and there's the comma, and that comma means multiplication, and 1 drama. That's probably more likely to happen. Let's see. From the 6 action, she is going to choose 2. So type that in on your calculator right now. Get a number. We're going to multiply that by, from the 8 comedies, she's going to choose 2. Type that in. Now the 2 answers you get multiply. And then from the 4 dramas, she's going to choose 1. Type that in, and now multiply those 3 answers together. That's what you want. And what we have is still the 18, choose 5. So when I typed it in, I got 1,680 out of this 8,568. You know, I have a bigger numerator. So let's see what we get when we divide. We get 0.196, which would be about 19.6%. And if you were rounding even maybe to no decimals, you would say you have about a 20% chance, which is much higher than less than 1%. So I think using the percents would definitely make things easier for you. So let's do a couple more, just because we have to make sure that you guys grasp what we mean with the probabilities. This florist has 26 flowers, and this florist is going to choose or select 6 of them. So out of the 26 flowers, you choose 6. You have 230,230 different ways you could do this. So that's a lot of ways. So if the flowers are chosen at random, what's the probability that they're all roses? So this is now the probability that you chose 6 roses. And when you look, he had 12 roses. So 12 choose 6 out of now your 26 choose 6. And these numbers are big. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type the numbers fast. 12 choose 6 gives me 924. And the 26 choose 6, we know, gets us to 230,230. And we put these guys together. Here's my answer. This is the correct answer, but how much, it really means to me? Probably not a whole lot. So we divide, and when we do that, we get 0.004, which is roughly 0.4%. So you're not even getting 1% chance that if he's just randomly reaching in, you're getting less than 1%. So let's talk about this one. If flowers are chosen at random, what is the probability that there are 2 of each type? Well, now this would be the probability of 2 tulips and 2 roses and 2 daisies. Well, that's probably a whole lot better chances. So this would now be the fraction that I'm going to have to write, because every time I try to type it, it takes too long, and we don't want to spend the whole time watching me type. There were 8 tulips. We are going to choose 2 of them. And then there were 12 roses, and we are going to choose 2 of them. And then there are 6 daisies, and we are going to choose 2 of them. So this is what we want, 2 of each, all over what we have, 26, choose 2. So again, type in each one at the top, take those 3 answers, multiply it, and if you did so, you should have gotten 27,720 out of your 230,230. Whoa. Okay, hit the enter instead of the 3. And again, being that this is such a crazy thing, let's type this in and make it into a decimal. And this decimal here would be 0.120, which definitely makes sense. This would be about 12%. Now, part D brings us all the way back to the lesson on probability because it gives us the word or. They want to know what is the probability that you have 6 tulips or 6 daisies. Now, if you remember, or means plus. So if I talk myself through what I want here, from my 8 tulips, I am going to choose 6. Or from my 6 daisies, I am going to choose all 6 of those daisies, and that will bring me back to my 26 flowers where I chose 6. Okay, because so you're adding up, and or is adding. And when we add these up, we end up getting only 29 out of 230,230. So the chances of this happening are very, very small. If we divide this out, we would get 0.000126. And if I move my decimal twice, this would give me 0.0126%, which that's not even a tenth of a percent. That's 100th of a percent. That is such a small chance that that's going to happen. So let's do a faster problem. Franklin has 5 quarters, 2 nickels, and 3, that should be dimes, 3 dimes in his pocket. If he pulls 2 coins out at random, what's the probability that he has 50 cents? So this is what I want for my probability, the probability that he pulls out 50 cents. Well, with 2 coins, the only way you're getting 50 cents is with 2 quarters. And so he had 5 quarters in his pocket. So from the 5 quarters, he chose 2 of them. But in his pocket, he had 5 plus 2, 7 plus 3. He had 10 coins where he chose 2 of them. 5C2 gives me 10, and 10C2 gives me 45. None of these say 45, but if I reduce this fraction either with the calculator or by hand, I'm going to get choice 4 2/9. And let's take a look at number 5. Harold draws 5 marbles out of a bag that contains 12 red and 10 blue. So in this bag, he's got 22 marbles. So, and he takes out 5. That's my bottom. What he has is 22, and he chose 5. Calculate the probability that Harold draws out 3 red and 2 blue. Well, 12 red. So he had 12 red, and he chose 3. And multiplication, he had 10 blue, and he chose 2. Well, that would be right here, choice 2. They didn't even make you type it in, so that was nice. Mr. Jim Shorts is trying to form a 6-person volleyball team from his 9th ed physical education class, which has 10 girls and 14 boys, so he's got 24 total in the class. And from these 24, he is going to form a 6-person team, so he's going to choose 6 to be on this team. Now, what is it that he wants to have on the team? He wants his team to consist of all girls. So he's got 10 girls, and he's going to choose 6 of them. Or, there's my big plus sign, he's got 14 boys where he's going to choose all 6. So now what you need to do is you need to type in 10C6, get an answer, 14C6, get an answer, and now you got to add those 2 up. And when you do that, you should get 2019. So that's what we want. And now type in 24C6, and we get 130,000. Uh, 7504, so I said that wrong. We get 1,307,504. This is a crazy fraction. So now you have to type in 2019 divided by 1,307,504. And I didn't do that one yet, so let's do that right now. 2019 divided by 1,307,504, and that gives us 0.0015. So if I round to 3 decimal places, that would give me 0.002. And unless I typed in something wrong, that looks like there's maybe a typo. You know what? I always could be the one making a mistake. Let me type this in. Let's start this one all from the beginning. 10C6. I typed it in wrong. That's got to be it. That gives me 210. So let me all right, let me just fix that. That is 210 for the first one. And now I have to type in 14. Math, probability, 3, 6. And that gives me 3,003. Wow, I definitely typed this one in wrong. Sorry about that. That's what happens when you rush. And let's type in the bottom, the 24. C6. And that gives me 134,596. So now if I take these numbers and I add 210 plus my 3,003, and I divide it by the 134,596, Ah, there we go. There's my 2%. This would round to 0.02, and 0.02 is absolutely 2%. All right, so do the other problems yourself. Try to make the percents out of it. We are going to do mean, median, mode, and quartiles for the next 2 days after this, and then we're going to have our final test and wrap up the curriculum. So let me know if there's anything I can help you with.